usually starts so innocently. You're exhausted, the house is quiet for once, and your baby is finally calm. There's a cartoon playing in the background. Bright colors, cheerful music, smiling characters. Your baby looks mesmerized, and for a moment you feel relief. You think they're happy, can breathe. And years ago, maybe even with older siblings or nieces and nephews, this felt normal. Screens were helpful, harmless, maybe even educational. But here's the uncomfortable contrast most parents don't see until much later. The thing that gives you peace in the moment can quietly create chaos in your baby's brain over time. And the hardest part, you were never trying to hurt your child. You were trying to get through the day. Most parents don't realize this, but some of the biggest threats to a baby's developing brain don't come from neglect or danger. They come from inside loving homes, wrapped in bright colors and catchy songs. TVs, tablets, phones, cartoons that feel cute, harmless, even helpful. This comes from love, not bad intentions. You want your baby entertained. You want them happy. You want 5 quiet minutes to finish the dishes or answer a message. That doesn't make you careless. Makes you human. What parents think they're doing is giving their baby something enjoyable, maybe even educational. What the baby actually experiences is something very different. Their brain is being flooded. Imagine handing an adult 3 cups of coffee at once and then asking them to relax. That's what fast, overstimulating content feels like to a baby's nervous system. Their brain isn't built to process rapid scene changes, flashing colors, exaggerated faces, and non-stop sound. It's still wiring itself for the basics. Safety, connection, focus, and calm. Here's why this matters. In the first 3 years of life, the brain is forming connections at a breathtaking pace. But those connections are meant to be shaped by real life. Eye contact, facial expressions, touch, voice, pauses, and back-and-forth interaction. Not by visual fireworks. When a show changes scenes every couple of seconds, the brain doesn't get to settle. Stays in a constant state of alert. The nervous system doesn't think this is fun. Thinks I need to keep up. Shows designed for babies today are often designed to capture attention, not support development. And attention capture works by triggering dopamine, the same reward chemical involved in addiction. The problem isn't that your baby likes these shows. Of course they do. Bright, fast stimulation is like candy for the brain. The problem is what happens next. When the screen turns off, real life suddenly feels slow. Toys feel boring. Conversation feels flat. Nature feels quiet in the wrong way. And parents are left wondering why their baby is crying, restless, irritable, or unable to focus. What looks like fussiness is often overstimulation. What looks like they just love cartoons is often a nervous system struggling to come down from an artificial high. Babies can't say, "This is too much." They say it with their bodies. Short attention spans. Difficulty calming down. Trouble sleeping. Emotional ups and downs that feel bigger than the situation. And this isn't about one specific show. Many fast-paced, Americanized cartoons follow the same formula. Constant motion, loud music, exaggerated expressions, and relentless stimulation. What parents think is harmless background noise, the baby's brain experiences as a sensory marathon with no water breaks. Over time, the brain adapts, starts to expect intensity. Calm begins to feel uncomfortable. Stillness feels wrong. Here's where the long-term impact comes in. Overstimulation doesn't just affect mood in the moment. It affects how the brain builds its attention system. Babies who get used to constant high stimulation often struggle with patience later. They struggle with focus, not because they're difficult, but because their brain was trained to expect more input to feel engaged. Language development can slow because screens don't respond back. Babies learn language through interaction, not monologues. Emotional regulation becomes harder because dopamine spikes are followed by crashes, leaving the nervous system unsettled. This is the moment many parents feel panic or guilt, and I want to stop that right here. If your baby has watched fast cartoons, you have not failed. You didn't ruin their brain. You didn't know. And now you do. The brain is incredibly adaptable, especially at this age. Repair is always more powerful than perfection. The shift isn't about banning screens overnight or becoming a perfect screen-free parent. It's about slowing things down, reducing intensity, reintroducing the kinds of stimulation the brain is actually built for. Shows, slower pacing, fewer cuts, softer voices, and more importantly, more real-life interaction. Stacking cups, playing with spoons, reading together, singing slowly, letting your baby explore dirt, water, leaves, and light. These things look simple, but they are neurological gold. Reading daily is one of the strongest predictors of language development, not because of the words alone, but because of the connection. Singing slow songs helps regulate the nervous system. Going outside calms the brain faster than almost anything else. Predictable routines help babies feel safe. Independent play builds focus and confidence. Connection rituals, cuddles, bedtime stories, quiet mornings, teach the brain that calm feels good. Within weeks, many parents notice changes they didn't expect. Better sleep, longer attention spans, calmer moods, fewer tantrums, more creativity. Not because something magical happened, but because the brain finally had space to heal. This is what regulation looks like. This is what development is supposed to feel like. Your baby doesn't need flashy lights to grow smart. They need your voice, your face, your presence. Overstimulating cartoons were designed to entertain, not to nurture developing brains. They sell excitement, not connection. And no screen will ever replace what your baby's brain needs most. A calm, responsive human. If this hit a little close to home, you're not alone. Most parents were never told this. If this helped you see something differently, consider staying here. Subscribe. Share this with another tired parent who's just trying to do their best. Because protecting a baby's brain doesn't require perfection. It requires awareness, intention, and connection. Your baby doesn't need Paw Patrol. They need your patience. Your baby doesn't need Baby Shark. They need your voice singing softly. Your baby doesn't need fast cartoons. They need your face, your smile, your calm. You are the real educational content. And when you choose connection over stimulation, you're not just changing today. You're shaping the future of your child's emotional strength, focus, and well-being. That's powerful. Now let's talk about what repair actually looks like in real life, because this is where many parents get stuck. When they hear reduced stimulation, their mind jumps to extremes. No screens ever, perfect routines, constant engagement. And that pressure alone can make parents shut down before they even begin. So let's ground this in reality. Repair doesn't mean erasing the past. Repair means changing the pattern going forward. Your baby's brain isn't fragile like glass. It's plastic, flexible, responsive, especially in the early years. What matters most isn't what happened once or even often before. It's what happens consistently next. Think of your baby's nervous system like soil. Overstimulation doesn't ruin it. It dries it out. And what soil needs to recover isn't intensity, but water, rest, and time. The most powerful shift parents make isn't removing screens entirely. It's lowering overall intensity. That might mean turning the TV off even when nothing is playing, because background noise matters. Silence or soft music gives the brain space to settle. It might mean choosing one calm show instead of jumping between clips, or shortening screen time gradually instead of cutting it abruptly, which can feel jarring to an already overstimulated nervous system. What parents think they need to do is control behavior. What actually helps is regulating the environment. Lower volume, slower pacing, fewer transitions, more predictability. Babies feel safest when the world makes sense. This is why gentle routines matter so much. Not rigid schedules, but simple rhythms. Wake up, eat, play, rest. When a baby knows what comes next, their nervous system relaxes. And when the nervous system relaxes, development accelerates. Many parents worry they don't know how to entertain their baby without screens. But here's the truth. You don't need to entertain your baby. You need to be present while they explore. Babies don't need novelty. They need depth. The same stacking cups aren't boring. They're an experiment in balance and cause and effect. The same spoon banged on the floor isn't repetition. It's learning sound, rhythm, and control. What adults call boring, babies experience as mastery. And mastery builds confidence. Independent play is powerful because it teaches focus, persistence, and frustration tolerance. These skills don't come from being entertained. They come from being allowed to engage at a natural pace. Language development works the same way. Babies don't learn language from hearing words alone. They learn through interaction loops. You speak, they respond, you respond back. That loop wires the brain for communication. Screens break the loop. Even calm shows don't wait, pause, or adjust. You do. Your voice, slow, warm, responsive, is one of the strongest developmental tools your baby has. That's why reading together matters, not for literacy yet, but for shared attention and closeness. That's why singing slowly is so regulating. That's why simple conversation builds more brain connections than any cartoon ever could. Sleep is deeply connected to stimulation too. An overstimulated brain doesn't shut off easily. When parents lower stimulation, especially in the evening, bedtime becomes calmer, night wakings reduce, and settling becomes easier. Not because of tricks, but because the nervous system learns how to downshift. And here's something important to say clearly. You don't have to be perfect for your baby to heal. If screens happen sometimes, that's okay. If you're overwhelmed, that's okay. If you're learning as you go, that's parenting. What matters is direction. More calm than chaos, more connection than distraction, more presence than performance. When the screen turns off and your baby cries, staying close, naming the feeling, and offering comfort teaches something screens never can. Big feelings are survivable, and I'm not alone. That lesson becomes the foundation of emotional health. This isn't just about today. It's about the patterns you're shaping for the future. A baby who learns that calm feels good becomes a child who can focus, a teen who can regulate, and an adult who doesn't need constant distraction to feel okay. That's how generational healing happens. Not through perfection, but through awareness. Your baby doesn't need to be entertained all the time. They need to feel safe in a world that makes sense. They don't need flashing lights to grow intelligent. They need meaningful interaction. Your voice, your face, your touch, your presence. These aren't extras. They're the foundation. And the truth is, you already have everything your baby needs. If this helped you see something differently, stay here. Share this with another tired parent. Because protecting a baby's brain isn't about fear. It's about choosing connection again and again. And every time you do, you're shaping a calmer, stronger future. For your child. And for you. You've got this.